What is going on, my broskiis? My name is Toadskii, back again, here to bring you guys yet another One Piece Treasure Cruise video. Now today we have a lot of news to talk about. Now they didn't actually reveal anything officially in game, but there was a data download that input some interesting stuff that we really need to discuss because honestly, it's kind of interesting they went ahead and did this, man. I gotta keep it a buck. I mean, this is honestly crazy. I was not expecting this. I don't think anyone was. But if we go over to the tavern real quick, I have time traveled, so I'm a little bit further ahead in terms of days. But have a look at what banner is going to be arriving in just a couple of days' time. Wait for it. What? What? Super Sugo Fest. Treasure Cruise 6th Anniversary Countdown Super Sugo Fest. Make that be known. This is not the official Anniversary Sugo Fest. Do not get it twisted. This is not the official Anniversary Sugo Fest. It is the Countdown Sugo Fest. I know people are going to get it mixed up, but one thing I have to say is that it does say Treasure Cruise 6th Anniversary Countdown Super Sugo Fest. The fact that it is a Countdown Super Sugo Fest leads me to believe that the final Sugo Fest for the official anniversary is also going to be a Super Sugo Fest. Which would mean that either Luffy Sanji is a Super Sugo Fest exclusive, which is not the case, or Roger and Odin are going to be on the Anniversary Sugo Fest. Because there is no reason why they would do a Countdown Super Sugo Fest without the official Anniversary Sugo Fest also being a Super Sugo Fest. So I just wanted to say that officially out of the way. I'm pretty certain that at this point it doesn't really make a lot of sense to really be pulling here. However, one thing that we don't know about this banner is how many legends are available, what the legend rate actually is, because that can definitely change things. Like if this is a 10 legend banner, you know, with a regular legend rate, and you've got Roger and Odin as 2 of those 10 legends, this banner actually is kind of crazy. If we go over to the step counter real quick, you can see there's only 5 steps, and the first one's discounted at 30 gems, and then the other 4 steps are a guaranteed Sugo Rare character. Now, it doesn't specifically say, but I would assume that a Sugo Rare character can count for Roger and Odin as well. Because it doesn't say Sugo Fest exclusive, it just says Sugo Rare, so that would probably mean it can be a Super Sugo Fest exclusive, or it can be just a regular Sugo Fest exclusive. That's why I think they've used the word Sugo Rare, so that makes sense, right? So this is an interesting banner, dude. Like the only featured characters here are the new batch that came for New Year's, you know, with the World Crew celebration, and you know, with Roger and Odin as well. So again, we need to wait and see what the official, you know, announcement says in terms of when it's dropping and like what's going to be available. You can see that it is going to be dropping on February 19th, and it's going to be lasting until the official anniversary, which is going to be on the 25th at 1900 PST time, is the official release of the Anniversary Sugo Fest. So this is the lead up to that. This is pretty interesting. If you don't have Roger and Odin, I could definitely see why you'd want to be pulling here. But then again, even if you are really wanting to pull here, one thing that you could do is wait until like the very last second to see what, you know, if they announce the Anniversary Sugo Fest right before it comes out, right? And see what the official Anniversary Sugo Fest is all about before, you know, pulling here. That's what I would suggest you do. If obviously I know a lot of people are going to want to pull here. And this is honestly a great way to bait people into pulling, but I think what you should do is wait and see what the official Anniversary Sugo Fest is first, and then decide whether or not you want to pull here, because I can definitely understand why people would want to get these characters, especially Roger. He is so good. I mean, on Global right now, and even with the release of the Anniversary Sugo Fest, I still think Roger is the best character on Global, by far. I think he definitely is. So that's that, I guess. You know, nothing really too much else to talk about, but this is super weird, man. Like, no one really expected that to be dropped right before the Anniversary Sugo Fest. Very, very bizarre. So anyways, that's one banner. Now we got another banner right here. So this is a Black Blade Training Sugo Fest. And then there's another banner, the Tragic Countries Conflict Sugo Fest. So we knew that this was going to be arriving. If we go over to the home real quick and then go to the notice board, relating to a recent post that came out, you know, a couple weeks ago. Yeah, this one, the Adventure Marathon. So a lot of people are going to get a chance to get 100 Rainbow Gems, and in order to actually do it, you have to complete like all of these quests. And you see in the 4th objective, like this specific post came out like quite a few weeks ago, and the 4th objective there was saying, you know, from February 19th until the Feb 25th, you know, complete the Black Blade training or the Tragic Countries Conflict one time. So, you know, we knew that this was coming, and then, you know, obviously that means it was going to be rehashing the same Sugo Fest that released alongside those events, which obviously the Black Blade training has the Pudding and the Big Mom, and then the Tragic Countries Conflict has the Corazon and also the Viola. Interestingly enough, though, you can see in the background there, Boa V3 and Super Type Mihawk, and then you've got Snake Man and Super Type Law. Like, that's... These banners are super, ultra, mega bait. But the fact that those characters are on these banners here would lead me to believe that they're not going to be on this banner right here. We'll have to wait and see, of course. So, just speaking of these characters real quick, I actually have all 4 of these, like, special edition units. And let me just say this, is that in terms of, you know, what... or how usable these characters are. The Big Mom is pretty useless. I've never really used her outside of her event. The Pudding, I've used her a couple of times outside of her event. She's not too bad. But this banner right here, the Corazon and the Viola are actually really good characters. The Corazon has an amazing support, attaches to Law, removes bind and attack down by 2. And then you've got the Viola who attaches to, I think, Sanji with her support. And then anytime Sanji hits a perfect, you remove 1 turn of Rainbow Shield. She has a pretty good special ability as well. So... anyways, we can quickly go through them just before, you know, we move on to some other things, but this Pudding, Psy Striker Cerebral with a special, reduces charge time by 1, adjacent slots to matching, reduces Rainbow Shield by 5, and reduces burn by 5. So it's okay. I mean, does she have the reverse? Yeah, she does have special reverse reduction, which is quite good too. And then the Big Mom, who, as I said, is a character you don't really, like, I haven't used her since I pulled her, aside from the event that she was made for. She is a quick striker driven. You heal the crew by a small amount, boost striker and driven attack by 1.75 for 2 turns, and if there are 3 or fewer enemies when you launch the special, reduce 7 turns of attack down. And if there's 2 or more enemies, is it? Yeah. If there's no, it's a 3 or fewer. So if there's 4 or more enemies, it means it's going to reduce increased damage taken by 7 turns instead. It's a really weird special. We've never seen anything like that actually, where depending on how many enemies, you actually do different effects for, you know, utility wise, which is quite cool. So either way, she's not really used that much. And then actually, can we actually just check the characters and see if, like, what else is boosted here? No, okay, so it's only just the ones that are on the banner. And then obviously, as I said, you know, these ones right here, the Corazon and the Viola are actually really, really good characters. These characters actually have supports, whereas, you know, the Big Mom and Pudding didn't. So this Corazon, you can see with his special ability, reduces bind and attack down by 4, adjacent slots to matching, and then heal the crew for 2 turns. But his support attaches to Law and Sengoku. I actually didn't realize he attached to Sengoku as well. Anytime you're inflicted with bind or attack down, reduces by 2 turns. Very, very good support. And then you've got Viola, who is a Psy Striker Cerebral. Yeah, Psy Striker Cerebral. Special ability reduces defense up, so blue shield, and also rainbow shield by 5. And then reduces charge time by 1, and gives you 1.75 cerebral color affinity. With the support, as we just mentioned, you know, it's a stat boost, plus it removes the rainbow shield when you hit a perfect. So yeah, both of these characters are actually, like, somewhat usable, I would say. But there's actually one last thing. There's another Sugo Fest. There's 4 brand new banners, man, that are all coming. So, brand new Pirate Rumble Sugo Fest. This is coming a day earlier on Feb 18. And you can see it features a new character, which is the Oars, right? From Thriller Bark. So let's go ahead and have a look at what this Oars actually does. Now, if I remember correctly, he is an int boosting unit, so he helps out the int teams in Pirate Rumble, and he has a like Pirate Rumble set that is centered around boosting your crew's crit. Your crit rate. So let's go ahead and have a look at what he's all about. So he is a debuffer, as we just saw. He's a debuff style unit. He is int. He has a special ability, 18 CT, which is very good. 1 enemy with high defense for 35% health reduction. And then 1 high attack teammate gets level 10 attack up for 25 seconds. It's pretty good. And then his passive is going to give all enemies a guard percent down level 5. That's very good, actually. And then for the first 40 seconds of the battle, int characters will get level 10 crit and level 2 attack up. That is phenomenal. If you guys have ever used or have had a look at Halloween Mihawk, he wants to try and crit as much as possible. So if you want to try and use Halloween Mihawk in Pirate Rumble, you probably want to have this Oars. But then the rest of his kit is pretty stock standard stuff. and his special ability doesn't help too much either, but, you know, he's basically built to be used with the Halloween characters, basically, which is, you know, not really a big surprise. But in terms of the other characters on this banner as well, you see Conus was there as well. I actually don't have her yet, but she's another int boosting unit. Joe's is another int boosting unit, and then we've got Halloween Shanks and V3 Katakuri. Buggy's here as well for some reason, okay. It's actually not a terrible banner. What are the steps for this banner, actually? 30 gems for the first, Pirate Rumble Sugofest exclusive character on the second, so guaranteed Pirate Rumble unit. The third is a legend, 1 gem multi, and then ores on multi 5, so yeah, I guess it's okay, you know, multi 5, but it is annoying because we have to go to multi 5 and the characters don't even come with max Pirate Rumble abilities, which does suck, whereas on JP, they're not guaranteed, but if you pull the new debut unit, they come with like fully maxed abilities, which is definitely a huge save, actually. I didn't even talk about the steps on this banner, but basically the third multi's guaranteed Violet and the sixth multi's guaranteed Corazon. That's a little annoying because I think when this got rehashed on Japan, it was like Viola on multi 1 and then Corazon on multi 3, so they really shafted us here. But as I said, you do have to look at things in the other perspective here. Is that we have really good legends here, and they are going to be easier to get, right? Because, you know, second multi is a legend, and we have, you know, the brand new structure with Yoshi, right? So honestly, I can see why people would be upset, because the main reason you're pulling on this banner is for these special time units, not for legends. I mean, you can if you want, but most people are going to be pulling this banner specifically for these special time units, not for the Sugofest exclusive. So I can understand why people would be a bit upset about that. And it's essentially the same structure here as well. You get the 5-star Linlin on multi 3, and then the Pudding's on multi 6, which kind of makes sense because Pudding is definitely the better unit. So yeah, that is kind of annoying, especially for people that don't have that unit. So that is it. It is what it is. It's just super annoying. So yeah, all those banners are going live, all on the 19th. However, the Oars banner is going live on the 18th, and the Black Blade Training and the Tragic Countries Conflict are going to be available. Now you can see that with this event here, you've got like a Doflamingo. This Dex Doflamingo, you can actually go ahead and get him from like Chopper Man missions and stuff. This Doflamingo is actually like really good for the event, which we'll go over in a sec. And then for the Black Blade training event, you'll get your hands on this special edition Perona character, who is also going to be very good for like that event, right? Because you farm up like, you know, the 60 stamina difficulty, you farm up all the items and stuff, because you drop these swords, you get the Chopper Man missions done, and then you can farm the 0 stamina, and by clearing the 0 stamina, you get like really good rewards. So you want to be using like the farmable character from the event, so you want to use Perona for the 0 stamina for the Black Blade training, and you want to use the Doflamingo for the 11-star of the Tragic Countries Conflict. So that's the way that you kind of do that. We can actually go over to my character box real quick, and I can kind of quickly talk about them. One thing to note as well is that these characters that are available during this event period, like, they basically never return. So, like, if you want to get them done, like, this is definitely the best opportunity to get them done, right? So the Perona is a side character, this one right here. So she's not like super amazing, but she's okay. 0 defense to the enemies for 2 turns. Top row characters get quick, middle row get Psy, bottom row get int, and then your right column gets 2 turns of special cooldown reduction. But her support effect, which attaches to Zora or Mihawk, and changes slasher characters' strength, quick, and Psy slots into dex and int, and then makes perfects a little easier to hit for 2 turns as soon as you reach the final battle. This was a great support for when V2 Mihawk and V2 Zora were out, because they relied on getting dex and int slots. So this was like a really good supporter for those characters. And then the last character is that Doflamingo from the Tragic Countries Conflict, who is a dex unit, which is this guy right here. This Dofi was basically used as a captain for the 0 stamina difficulty, because I believe there's a cost restriction. So yeah, this Dofi is dex-driven cerebral. Special ability changes empty slots and badly matching slots to matching, and then locks them for 1 turn, and then after the 12th combo hit, you get 2 times attack for the rest of your characters. It's a pretty interesting special. Definitely helps out through the event to have this guy maxed out. So that's basically the gist of everything. There's a lot of news that randomly came out of nowhere that we were just not expecting. And I think the big thing here, obviously, is the Countdown Sugofest. You shouldn't be pulling on it unless like unless you really want to get your hands on Roger and Odin. But I would suggest waiting to see what the banner's actually like, what legends are going to be available, and what I really would suggest is wait until the actual data download comes for the Anniversary Sugofest. Read what that's about first before you pull on this banner. That's what I would suggest. And then you've got these 2 banners, which I think are really poorly structured because the special time units are a lot more difficult to get. And then Oars is okay, but only really good for, like, you know, the int Halloween stuff, but not really a needed character in Pirate Rumble, in my opinion anyway. But that's going to wrap up this video. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this one, and if you guys did enjoy it, make sure you go ahead and leave a like, and if you want to stay up to date with all the content that I post, including more One Piece Treasure Cruise content, make sure to hit the subscribe button down below. But on that, guys, I'll see you guys within the next video.